Hollywood is very well known for creating classic movies, loved by any who watch them. Whether in the mood for romance, action and adventure, or horror, there is sure to be a classic and well-loved movie that you can watch. Hollywood is characterized by such actors as Audrey Hepburn, Marilyn Monroe, Peter O'Toole, and Humphrey Bogart, all of which with the goal to create an entertaining movie that will keep an audience captivated. However, this entertainment often can result in sacrificing historical accuracy. Gone with the Wind is a beautiful film set in 1861, the first day of the Civil War, and ends in the fall of 1873. This film was based on the novel by Margaret Mitchell, which was published in 1936. In this story, the Civil War and Reconstruction era are told through the eyes of the main character Scarlett O'Hara, who was initially in vehement opposition to the war, but through love and other trials, she finds herself constantly caught up in it. Scarlett O'Hara grew up on her family's plantation in Tara, which is located near Georgia, and surrounded by other similar plantations and wealthy Southern families. Most Americans at the time believed that the Civil War would end within a few weeks, or at most a few months, just as Charles said to Scarlett on their wedding day. However, this was not the case, and the Civil War dragged on for years and was a devastating loss on both the northern and the southern sides. A key point in the movie is the burning of the city of Atlanta, which shows the true destruction and devastation that would follow when an army pillaged through a town. After the burning of Atlanta, Scarlett chooses to go back to Tara, even though she knows that it could be burned and gone. On her way there, a once prim and proper Southern belle is turned into a desperate and sad-looking woman. Due to the Reconstruction-era taxes after the Civil War and the carpetbaggers, the area of Tara, along with most of the southern lands, are reduced to debt and poverty, as Scarlett finds herself. With the dramatic scene where Scarlett says, "If I have to steal or kill, as God is my witness, I'm never going to be hungry again," shows the true desperation of Southerners at the time. One stereotype that the film portrays is that all Black people were loving and kind towards their masters and wanted to serve them with all their hearts. While this may have been true of some Black slaves, most were very ready to go fight in the Civil War for their freedom and did not love their masters as much as portrayed in the film. For being a major motion picture, the film Gettysburg is highly accurate regarding the Civil War. Adapted from the novel The Killer Angels by Michael Sahara, Gettysburg follows both the Confederate and Union sides of the war. In particular, the movie focuses on General Robert E. Lee, Lieutenant General James Longstreet, Colonel Joshua Chamberlain, and Brigadier General John Buford. The Battle of Gettysburg was fought from July 1st to July 3rd, 1863, in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. The almost 4.5-hour film details the 3-day siege on both the Confederate and Union armies as they attempt to take Gettysburg. The film Gettysburg does a beautiful job of portraying the humanity that goes on within a war. Even though the film was not as bloody as the actual battle due to still wanting the PG rating, it shows what it actually feels like to kill a man and aim and shoot for him. The casualties in the Civil War, in particular, the Battle of Gettysburg, are astronomical. In 3 days, the two armies together suffered between 46,000 and 51,000 casualties, which was nearly 1/3 of all total troops engaged in the war. The last day of the battle was particularly deadly. On the 3rd day, Lee decided to send 3 divisions, Pickett, Trimble, and Pettigrew's, to attack the center of the Union line at Cemetery Ridge. General Longstreet tried to stand up to Lee, telling him the attack would fail due to the excessive amount of firearms and cannon power that the other side had. Lee did not heed Longstreet's counsel, and after a long and bloody day, the Confederate army was forced to retreat. This charge, named Pickett's Charge, was led by valiant and brave generals and soldiers willing to sacrifice themselves for the cause. At the end of the film, the remaining soldiers are even seen begging Lee to return to battle tomorrow and that they would crush the opponent. However, the scope of this battle's deaths were unimaginable. The Confederate Army's retreat also predicted the end of the war, as the Confederate Army would never be the same again. Though they both depicted the Civil War, Gettysburg and Gone with the Wind are 2 very different films. Gettysburg focuses more on the war side of the efforts and shows the humanity of what it's like to actually fight in a major battle. Gone with the Wind takes an early Hollywood approach to the Civil War and focuses more on the romantic plot than the war itself. However, it still does a beautiful job of portraying the humanity and the sacrifice and sadness that went behind the Southern decisions in the war.